Hi everybody, this is Judy Tuttle from Tuttle Up Stamping. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I'm so glad to be with y'all tonight. Thanks for joining me. I have a beautiful little card class to go to show you tonight. 3 beautiful cards using the Soft Seedlings stamp set in the holiday catalog. It is beautiful. It wasn't one that caught my eye right away, but then I started seeing samples that people were making, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to have this set. And then this past weekend in New Orleans, I saw a whole bunch more samples using it, and it just solidified my desire to bring you 3 beautiful cards using the Soft Seedlings bundle, which we will do tonight. So how is everybody out there? I am a little tired. I spent Thursday, Friday, Saturday in New Orleans on, hi Roz, thanks. It was an amazing 3 days. You know, Stampin' Up always does any event for us super, super well. This event was for those who were Silver Elite and Aboves, which is really a title that's held by about 5% of the demonstrators in the company. There could have been as many as 2,500 demonstrators there because that's how many Silver Elites there are in the company. There were about 500 of us that made it to this event, and it was fabulous. It was filled with a lot of business training and introspection and learning from others. The daytime events were kind of overwhelming with just a flood of information from key leaders, corporate leaders, which was phenomenal. The first night we were there, they had a sweets and swaps night, but it also had lots of kind of carnival acts around, little booths of sweet foods like beignets and ice cream, popcorn, just lots of fun stuff. And then all day Friday we had classes. Friday night we went out, a group of about 10 of us went out to dinner at a place called the Court of Two Sisters. It was beautiful. We sat outside in an outside courtyard that had trees and vines and white lights all around us. It was spectacular. The food was delicious. Saturday again, a full day of workshops, but then Saturday night, I'm sure you guys saw it on my Facebook, that they gave us a New Orleans parade, like full out. We had no idea, but they blocked the streets in New Orleans on Canal Street and Bourbon Street and the streets leading back and forth from them. We had a full marching band with twirlers. We were all regaled up with masks and umbrellas and boas and beads. It was a fabulous, fabulous night. And then we came back to the hotel and they had tons of Creole food and New Orleans specialty foods, lots of desserts. I think we could have eaten all night long. And then we had an epic dance party. It was so much fun. So anyway, I had to get up at 3:30 in the morning to fly back yesterday from New Orleans. And I spent yesterday recovering. And of course, I was right back to work at my school counseling job today. But I was able in that time to put together a beautiful card class for you. And I hope you're going to enjoy the cards I make with you tonight. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and move the camera down and just talk a little bit about some upcoming events that I have going on. And you know what? Let me turn on my computer over here too so that I can see you and see if you're here. I believe I'm here. Let me refresh this page. And I'm assuming if you're watching from the computer. Yep, there we go. All right, so thanks for sticking with me. If you're here, please tell me you're here so that I can say hi to you. Tell me where you're from. I always try to give away something to somebody who won the previous week's watching, sharing, loving, liking on my Facebook Live videos. So please do that for me tonight as well. Okay, so I'm going to move my camera down. Hi, Chelsea. Thanks for joining me tonight. I can't wait to have you over. Okay, this is going to do some interesting things here, I think. I hope I can figure this out, because if I can't, it's going to make for, let me see here. That's right. I might end up stamping upside down tonight. I hope not. You know, Facebook thinks it's really cute to change things. There we go. I just got it going. Nope, when I push that button, it does some weird things. Okay, so I want that one. I'm sorry, you guys. Why can't I figure out how to flip this over? I'm pushing the little wand like I always do, and weird things are happening there. So I may just have to stamp upside down for you tonight because I can't figure out how to flip the camera upside down. Let me see if I try that one more time. Yep, don't know what's going on. So we're just going to forget about that. I'm still going to move my camera down like this. Now, the bad thing is that right now everything's going to be a little upside down. So let me flip this over and see if that helps. Hi. Gosh, what is with that, Jeannie? Why do they do this to us? Don't they know that we are already technologically challenged, right? They need to stop messing with us. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk to you about, and it says Baltic Sea, but they've changed it to Norway, and I would really love to earn this trip to Norway. I'm at 35,500 points, and I have to be at 40,000 points to earn the trip. So this is all the points I've earned already, and I need to be at 40,000 by the end of September. I can get there with your help. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love for you to buy from me in the next 5 weeks so that you can help me earn that trip. I've got some specials and some great things happening on my Tuttle Up page. And the best way to get in on some specials and deals is to be a part of my email list. I will include a link to my email newsletter list in the description after I finish this video. And then if you would like to join that and find out about things coming up, that will help me earn the trip by September 30th at midnight. That's the deadline. I hope to earn it way before then, okay? Now, here's a deadline that's coming up this week as well. I'm having a Happy Hippo party on September the 10th. This can be in person, or I can package it all up for you and get it to you to go. The Hippo Party is a class I've designed using the Hippo stamp set and dies that as of today are no longer available in Celebration. They have sold out. But somebody you know might have been able to get a few extra stamp sets and dies that we will be raffling off on the day of the Hippo Party. This is a free class, and my celebrations are always fabulous. You have to spend $100 with me in July and August. And so the deadline to spend $100 to get this class for free is August 31st. Now, guess how many people I have coming as of today to my Hippo Party? 18 people have earned the Hippo Party already. Can you believe that? I'm so excited about that. I would love for it to be 19, 20, 21, or 22. So if you would like to be a part of my free Happy Hippo Party, all you have to do is spend $100 with me. Now, if you've already placed an order and it wasn't quite $100, all you have to do is make up the difference. And if you need to know how much that is, just reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you. Silly to lose out on the Hippo Party if you've spent $60, $70, $80, right? You might as well put in a small order and earn this class for free. It's going to be so much fun. All right. September 15th is my mystery Halloween class using the Best Witches and Bewitching bundles. You will make 6 projects and we'll have some little treats thrown in there. The cost of this class is $30 or free with a $35 purchase. You can get this in person September 15th at 7 or to go. And the link to that will be in the events page tonight. And it's always in my email, okay? There's always a registration link. Now, another deadline coming up this week is for my Fall Apple Harvest full day retreat. It'll be on September 24th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It will include treats, lunch, prizes, 2 classes worth of products, one of them using the Apple Harvest stamp set, and the other using the Autumn Harvest, I think it's called Autumn Harvest stamp set with the pumpkins. That will be September 24th. Now, I have an early bird special going on. If you register for this event, you get the early bird discount if you register by September the 1st, So, you can click on the events over on my Facebook wall, or you can subscribe to my email list, and there's a registration link there as well. This is going to be a great day, you guys. And it's a Husker bye week, so there's no Husker football game that day. So a great day to come to this event and spend some time with your girlfriends and not worry about your men being depressed about a football game at home. Now, Boughs of Holly stamp set, bundle class, holiday card class number 3. We always make 8 cards, 2 each of 4 designs. This time I'll be using the Boughs of Holly suite. Beautiful cards with holly and poinsettias and rich colors and gold. Just beautiful. That will be either September 16th, Friday night at 7 p.m. or December 17th at 10 a.m. There is a football game that day. I think it's later in the afternoon, so plenty of time for you to get home and watch that game. This class and all of my holiday card classes are $30 for the 8 cards and the kit or whatever, or free with a $35 purchase. If you are getting it to go, you will need to add on some shipping, and there's a place for you to do that on the event page. And last, September is packed full. On September 29th at 7 p.m. or to go, I'm having a Storybook Gnomes project class. You'll make 4 fun-filled projects using the Storybook Gnomes from the holiday catalog. It's $30 and includes a quarter of a pack of the Gnomes paper and a half a pack of embellishments and a full color PDF of all the instructions. If you're coming in person, of course, you can use my Gnome stamp set and dies. If you're getting it to go, I can die cut pieces for you, but I'm not allowed to stamp, so you will need that stamp set. All right. Now, celebration is ending on August the 31st. And I'm going to show you some things that have sold out. Okay, let's go to the book first. In our celebration catalog, the Hippo stamp set is available, but the dies have gone. This beautiful, I'm going to use this tonight on my cards, Rings of Love DSP is still available, and I love it. As you know, the note cards and envelopes were the first thing to go away, but you can still get the stylish sketches free with a $50 order. You can still get the silver and gold 6x6 designer series paper with a $50 order. You can still get the amazing phrasing stamp set, which I love, 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 for a $100 order. The sad tree lots are gone. Bom, bom, bom. Wonderful World stamp set, and this is way prettier than it looks. It's way prettier in person. So if you haven't gotten this yet, this might be a good default item for you to get because it's free with a $100 order, and you get the designer series paper and the stamp set with that. Okay, now let's not forget about the fabulous joining special. If you join before August 31st from my team, not only do you get a 20% discount at least until the end of January, which is the best deal in the catalog. For $99, you get $125 worth of product. You get this amazing planner, which I'm loving. Look, Jeannie, there's your name. Jeannie Zoom meeting right there. You get this great super padded envelope. You get all these extras to keep adding to it as the year goes on. A couple of notebooks. You get the stamp set if you're into stamping, which is kind of a big deal in planners right now. This is free. This is like a $60 value free for joining my team, and I would love to have you join because I love my team members. Next and last, this is the add-on celebration. There's several embossing folders, the timber, the gingham check, the seaside shells. You can get the craft boxes. These are really great for giving away cards to people. The dots and spots die just cuts out the dots, but the background stays with dots cut out, and it's really pretty. The Flowers of Home die set. The gold is sold out. The silver is still available. The silver paper pack for $50. The daffodil dies are available for $100, and the aspen tree dies is also free with $100 order. So there's only 4 days left to celebration. If there are any of those things that are left that you're still hoping to get, I think you should order with me and help me get to Norway by August 31st. Okay, now there's a new promotion coming up on September the 1st, and it's called the Perfect Partners. They have taken 6 stamp sets that are in the current catalog, and they have added dies to go with them. So if you haven't bought the stamp set yet, you can get the die stamp combination for 10% off. If you have bought the stamp set, you can still get the dies to go with it. Super fun. So the apples are what we are using for our apple retreat. Look at all these dies, you guys, all these apple blossoms and leaves. All the outline dies to cut all the images. You even get a really pretty label die and a really pretty scalloped section. This is what we're going to be using for my retreat, and it is an add-on in the registration link in case you would like to add this on, okay? You don't have to have it if you're coming to the retreat, but you do need at least the stamp set if you're taking the retreat to go. The other one I have invested in at this point is the Little Piggies dies. And look, this die will cut out that whole image right there, the little happy birthday. So you can pop them up, have them going across grass or mountains or whatever. It's super cute. And not only do you get the outlines for all the piggies, but look, you get a little bunting here. You get some flowers, you get some leaves, you get some confetti. You get this cute wagon, some grass, another cute little label. This little piece here is the handle for the wagon. These little pieces here are the wheels. You get a package with a bow on top. They just did. You get a little butterfly for this little butterfly right here. This just makes it super fun. And look at the example of the card that they have on the flyer here. Is that not so cute? Okay, so we're gonna have some fun with that. I think I'm gonna do the piggy dies next week for my Facebook Live. Maybe make it a class to go as well. All right, so that is everything. It is my purpose in my Stampin' Up! Business to build an empowered community through creativity. I want to build an empowered community through creativity. So by empowered community, I want you to believe that you can make beautiful things, and I want you to be empowered to share those things with others, cards, whatever, right? Okay, so we're going to make 3 cards tonight. using the Soft Seedlings bundle. I'm going to move some stuff out of the way here before I knock a ton of stuff off of my table. Okay, so the first card we're going to make, I've got all the measurements down here, and I've got to remember that tonight I am stamping upside down, right? Good night. I need to figure out how to fix that. I'm glad it happened to you too, Jeannie, so I'm not the only one that's looking inept here. Okay, so you're going to need some pieces, and I have all the measurements down for you here. You need a soft suede cardstock piece, cut 9 3/4 by 11, and then scored at 5.5. So it's 9 3/4. Did I say that wrong? I did. It's not 9 3/4 by 11. Let me erase that. It is 4 1/4 by 9 3/4. Okay, 4 1/4 by 9 3/4, and then you're going to score it at 5.5. So it's going to have a flap that's a little shorter on the front end than in the back, and you'll see why in just a second. Okay, next we have 2 pieces of designer series paper, and I am using this beautiful Rings of Love designer series paper, and I'm using the piece that has the acorns and the fall leaves in it, right? That makes sense. So this piece is 4 inches by 4 inches, and this piece is 1.5 inches by 4 inches, okay? I have a vanilla panel. I have 2 of them. One is just a scrap that I'm going to use later for my sentiment. That's what this small one is. This panel is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4, and it's going to go on the inside of my card. Okay, so let me know if you're still there and you're still watching. I love the aspen tree dies too, Jeannie. I bought that as well, and gosh, you know, there's so many beautiful things. It's hard to fit them all in. I would love to do a class to go on all of those items. So I'm taking my very vanilla piece that's 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm just setting it inside my card base here, right like that. Okay. And then I'm going to take this piece that's 1.5 inches by 4, and I'm just going to lay it along that bottom edge, flush with the bottom edge of the vanilla paper. Okay, here we go. I like to use liquid glue just a little bit when I know I need to get have some wiggle room there. Okay. All right, so there's my card front. Let me grab my bone folder here and kind of press that edge down a little bit more. Okay, now this is my piece of designer series paper that is cut 4 inches by 4 inches, and I'm going to attach that to the front of my card right like that. Okay. So here we go, 4 inches by 4 inches, and there we go. Okay, that is basically my card. Not so hard, right? I have a piece of crushed curry that's 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. And I have already cut for you, using our contour dies, a piece of very vanilla cardstock. And I used the contour scalloped rectangle that's 3 1/4 inches by 4 1/2 inches. Okay. Now I'm going to take this scalloped piece, and I am going to take my large leaf stamp. This is so pretty. Get ready to be odd. Now these are the colors I'm using tonight on all of my cards. Look how fallish those look. Aren't they pretty? Mary Mallow, soft suede, Cajun craze, crushed curry, and soft succulent are the colors I chose. So if you want to take this class to go and you don't have any of these colors, that might be something you want to add on to your order so that you can get the class for free. Okay, so we're going to do 2 things, and I'm going to use crushed curry and Cajun craze on this card. And I'm going to use a sponge dauber. So what I'm doing is I'm going to stamp this up in crushed curry ink. The entire leaf is going to get stamped in. Look, I'm just tapping. You don't have to push so hard that ink ends up on your block. If you're getting ink on your block, you're pushing too hard, okay? You just need to tap right like that. And then what I am going to do is get my sponge dauber that I just had right here, okay? And I'm gonna ink it up with some Cajun craze ink, and I'm just gonna add that ink to the very ends of my leaf, okay? It's gonna give us a really nice two-toned fall color for my leaf. I'm gonna huff on it a little bit just to give it a little bit of moisture. Let's see if I can do this upside down. Beautiful, isn't that beautiful? I just really love the look of doing that with sponge daubers and getting that two-toned look. And so now I'm gonna clean that leaf off really good because we're gonna use that one a lot tonight. Then I have a scrap of Very Vanilla here. And I'm gonna use my, let me close that ink pad, slide and pop. And I'm gonna use this time a soft suede ink pad, okay? And I'm gonna use the stamp that says, "So Grateful." So I'm gonna ink that up in soft suede. I'm gonna stamp it right there on my cardstock. And then I have my my double oval. Let me clean that off before I forget. My double oval punch. And we are gonna punch that So Grateful out. So I know some of you live in colder places. I don't know if Hannah's on tonight, but I know she lives in Wyoming, and Jeannie lives in Boston. Is it starting to get cold there? It's not cold here, but our high today was only 84 degrees. So that made me feel like, you know, that fall is coming, right? Okay, so now I have this Baker's Twine. It comes in the 5-pack, and this is the one that looks most like soft suede. And I'm gonna wrap it around my card, and I like to kind of secure it in that second scallop valley right there. I'm gonna go around twice and then back over here. And let's cut that off. I know. Well, you know, when we were in New Orleans, I think most days it said it was in the 80s, but man, that humidity just kills you in New Orleans. So we have humidity here in Lincoln, but not like that. It is not that bad. So you would just feel like you were in a sauna when you were there. But I don't know. I just think the weather here recently has made it feel like fall is on the way. Okay, so I just tied that in a bow, and sorry I had to do that upside down because I'm not that good yet. I can't do bows upside down. So here's my Baker's Twine, and then I'm gonna take my So Grateful and just pop it up over that Baker's Twine. And so I'm gonna use some mini dimensionals here. I'm gonna put a couple of them on the top of my oval and a couple on the bottom edge. right like that. And so the string will just canal right between those dimensionals. It'll pop this up so it's not getting lumpy on top of where that ribbon is right there. So I'm just going to lay that right on top, right like that. There we go. So pretty, isn't it? So simple. I love that. Okay, then I'm going to take this crushed curry piece. Let me remind you of it is 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. And I'm going to pop this panel right on top of that one, right like that. And just give it that edge of crushed curry all the way around. So let me grab my dimensionals here, my bigger ones. I like to put one in each corner for sure. When I have a piece of twine like this, I like to put one close to it to kind of help pop that up. One in this corner, and then let's put one right there, okay? So I'm gonna take the wax paper off here. So what I love most about events, and of course Stampin' Up! Did spoil us, and we did just have so much fun, it's just all the people I've come through this organization to know and love, people that have my back, people who stand beside me, people who cry with me when I'm feeling low, and laugh and celebrate with me when we achieve things together. And it's just a great network of empowered women, and I really love that. Okay, so this now, how pretty is that, is going to go right on top of that. Now, it's really important that you avoid this bottom edge of your crushed curry panel because you don't want it to stick to the inside DSP. So I'm going to focus just on the top here, and I'm going to go back and add a dimensional to the top two corners, a couple here, and then a dimensional there and a dimensional there. I'm avoiding like the bottom inch of that panel. So let me take these off. I know some people use their poker thing, that take your pick tool. I don't struggle getting these off. So I think for me, I love that the take your pick tool can help you with that. I just don't feel like I need that help very often. Okay, so there we go. And that is card number 1, except that I still want to add a couple of things. One thing I want to add is this little seedling to the inside of the card. So I'm inking it up again in the crushed curry. And then I'm going to take my sponge again in a little Cajun craze and just hit the ends of that seedling there. That's all I need. Just sponge a little bit on. And I'm going to stamp that right up here, coming from the top corner. Oh, isn't that pretty? Spiraling down from the top. And, you know, this card needs a little bling on the front. And the bling I have decided to use are these rustic metallic dot embellishments. So up here in this corner, I'm going to do a bigger one and then a smaller one kind of floating up here above it. And then right in here, I'm going to add another little one right there. So what do you guys think? That's card number 1. I know that leaf is just gorgeous. And this Rings of Love paper that you can get with a $50 order just makes it all come together, doesn't it? Okay, so that is card number 1. Card number 2 is going to be special as well. Okay, so same kind of color palette on this. I'm going to have a crushed curry cardstock. This is crushed curry, cut 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. That is the front of my card. Okay, then I have 2 pieces of Cajun craze that are cut 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, okay? Now, one of these 4 by 5 1/4 Cajun Craze pieces, one of them is going to go on the outside of my card, and one of them is going to go on the inside of my card. So I'm going to go ahead and put those panels, attach one to the front, and then I'm going to attach my second to the inside. Oh my gosh, I just laid it down a little too quickly there. Okay, right like that. All right. I wish I'd have gotten that a little higher. Let's see if it'll be forgiving if I do it really quick here. Did pretty good. Okay. I'm going to go from the bottom edge. It's hard to do this upside down, you guys. Okay, there we go. That gives me a little edge on the bottom. I like that better. Okay. Now, you need 2 very vanilla panels that are cut 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. One of them you're going to leave solid, and one of them you are going to emboss with our Falling Leaves embossing folder. This is what it looks like. Beautiful falling leaves, and when you emboss it, can you see those in that? It's just gorgeous. It's just a gorgeous look. So I'm going to take this panel that's embossed, and I'm going to attach it right there over the Cajun Craze, so just a little frame is around the edge, okay? So these were both cut at 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So just 1/8 of an inch shorter than my Cajun Craze all the way around. So that's going to leave a little, like a little 1/16 inch edge. I'm going to have to be really careful about this here. There we go, all the way around like that. So you just want a little hint of that Cajun Craze around that edge, okay? Then the regular one, the plain one, is just going to go on the inside right like that. But before I do that, I'm going to ink it up with what color? I think maybe I'm going to do Mary Merlot on this one. Make sure this little seedling is good and cleaned off here. I need an assistant. I need Jody Schrage or Chelsea or Jenny to be sitting right here by me when I do this. Okay, so I'm inking this up in Mary Merlot, and I'm just going to have some seedlings right along that edge, and I'm going to keep turning right like that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and so this piece is going to go right inside our card base. There we go. Pretty, huh? All right, now I have a panel of Cajun Craze that's 2 1/8 by 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of DSP. And on this card, I am using the DSP. Oh, helicopters. Yes, Jeannie, we do call those that here too. Rustic Harvest DSP has all of these beautiful pumpkins, lots of black in this, some crushed curry, some here. I'll just take the plastic off here. Some daffodils, dahlias, maybe, chrysanthemums. That's what that is. Isn't that pretty? Another one with gourds and pumpkins. This is the one we're going to use just to give a little color. This is just a Cajun Craze with some dots, and this is a mossy meadow, like swirly one. And then the back sides of this paper, all of them are just black and white. Okay, so the piece of DSP that I'm using is going to be 2 inches by 4¼ inches. And I'm using that one that has the gourds. I liked that it had crushed curry and Mary Merlot and Cajun craze and a little mossy meadow in there as well. Okay, so I'm going to just attach this DSP to this Cajun craze panel. Okay, like that. Make sure I get it really straight here. And then it looks like my DSP was just a tiny bit longer than my panel, so I'm going to just trim that up with my scissors right there. All right, now this whole panel right here is going to go right on my card front here at the bottom, just with a little bit of that embossing folder showing out there at the bottom, right like that. Okay, now I have cut some pieces out with my stitched rectangle dies. I'm using the stitched rectangle from the Stitch Rectangle dies that's 2 1/4 by 3 1/2, and I cut that beautiful crushed curry panel, and that one is going to go about like that, maybe a tiny bit tilted, but I'm not going to put that on quite yet. And then I have a very vanilla piece using that same stitch. Now the reason I have several here is that we're going to decide which one we like the best, and I'm going to do it in several different colors. So all of them are going to be a little bit different, and we're going to decide which one we want on our card. So I'm inking this up with crushed curry, and then I'm going to take my blotter, and I have override rules, I'm going to tell you. I have my sponge dauber, and I'm daubing on now some Mary Merlot. Okay. So last time I used Cajun craze, Mary Merlot on the little tips there. All right, let's see what that looks like. That's the Mary Merlot with the Cajun craze. Okay, now let me clean this off. That doesn't look very Mary Merlot-ish. And now I'm wondering if I had too much Cajun craze still on my sponge dauber from the last time. Let's see if it looks any different. Here, let me get a new sponge dauber maybe. Or maybe clean this one off. Now, oh no, here's my sponge daubers. I can just get a new one. Let's try that again, because I think I had too much Cajun craze on my ink pad. So I'm going to do my crushed curry again. Okay. And now this time I'm going to add some Mary Merlot to the ends here. I think this is going to look different this time. I can tell already. I think my sponge dauber had too much Cajun craze still on it from the last card. All right, so let's see if this one looks different. I have a feeling it is going to look a little different than that one. Oh yeah, what do you think of that? That's pretty, isn't it? Okay, so that is flower number 2. And then let's, leaf number 2. And then let's do one that doesn't have Cajun craze in it. Let's do one that has inked up in, I said Cajun craze. Let's do one that doesn't have crushed curry. So we're going to ink this up in Cajun craze this time. And then I'm going to use my sponge dauber that is Mary Merlot and see what these two look like together. This is fun. I like doing this with a sponge dauber. Have you guys done this before? I like the way it gives like fun shading. Okay, so let's see what this one looks like. Not quite as detailed. Which one do you like the best? A, B, or C? Take a vote. I'm going to give you a second to vote on it. And while you guys are voting on that, I'm going to take my scrap that I made into a label. Now, you could use any small label you wanted. Any small label. I'm using this little stitched, cute little stitch label from the Potted Succulent dies. And it looks like this, which I thought was really cute. And I'm going to stamp on that in Merry Merlot the words for you. Did I even take those out of? I didn't. I need to grab that one out of my stamp set here. And you guys are going to want to stick with me to the end because my last card is fabulous, if I have to say so myself. All right, so I'm going to ink that up in Merry Merlot. And we're going to stamp it right there for you. Isn't the font just beautiful on these? I just love the fonts. A, A, B, 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 A, A. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A's and 2 B's. 5 A's and 2 B's. Mary says B, Maxie says A, Robin says, oh, we got another A. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A's and 1, 2 B's. Looks like we're going for A. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to attach our leaf to this panel, but we're going to kind of like turn it a little bit like that so that the corners are showing out, okay? So I'm going to add some adhesive to the center here. Mary, thanks for joining me. I knew you had just gotten a stamp set and I thought she might want to see what we do. Well, darn it, I got that a little too, so not enough of that. Those corners are showing, so let me try that again here. Okay, so I'm going to turn it a little bit more. There we go. So those corners, well, that wasn't much better. It's okay. We're going to let it go. And then this is going to go right here on the card. But don't you like how that is tilted just a little bit there? And I'm using dimensionals on the back of this. I'm going to use 4 of them. So my last card that we're going to do to give you uses vellum as the card base. I know, pretty wild, huh? I do kind of love it though. All right, so remember, if you place a $30 order using the link that I have pasted in the description, you will, and the host code, you will get this card class for free, all of the pieces. You have to have your own stamp set because I'm not allowed to stamp for you, okay? There we go. So now this little for you right here is going to go right there, but I'm just going to put a dimensional under the U because it's going to go flat on this panel that's already popped up, okay? So I'm going to add a dimensional under the U and then just a little bit of snail right there on that end. Make sure it's not showing on the front. That's a pretty little label there, isn't it? For you, right like that. Okay, what do you think about that so far? Isn't it pretty? Okay, and now we're going to use our silver threaded twine here. I'm going to tie it in a bow. Oh, I probably should show you how I do that. I loop it around the tree and then push the loop into that hole and pull. It makes a bow. And this, I like this ribbon because it really does give a rustic look to your projects. Okay, and that is going to go right there like that. Okay, I might not even need to cut that a little bit shorter so it doesn't go off the edge. And for this, I'm going to use some glue dots, I think. Just had them here. Here we go. And I might need to use several glue dots on the back of this because it's a pretty hefty piece of string, right? But I really like the silver thread through it and kind of the rustic look that it gives the card. There you go. What do you think? Isn't that pretty? Now, before we're done, we're going to go back to those rustic metallic dots, and we're going to just scatter a few around here. So I'm going to do one down here on my label. I'm going to use another one up here. Another one down here, and maybe a little one kind of right on that leaf right there. Okay, so that is card number 2. Thank you, Maxine. That's pretty, isn't it? And then the inside has those little, what do you call them, Jeannie? Helicopters, those little helicopters going along the edge there. So that is card number 2. For tonight. And then my last card, get ready to be wowed. One of my mentors and friends, Rhonda Wade, brought these vellum cards to backstage to swap, and I didn't have time to swap. I barely had time to get my life in order enough to go. But she was sweet enough to show her card to me. And I am totally winging this based on my best memory from last Thursday, but I think my card turned out really pretty, and I hope you love it. So let me clean off my cards here really quick. So again, if you would like this as a class to go, all you have to do is place a $30 order in my Tuttle Up shop using the host code that I just listed. And it's right here too, RRE66SNH. And I will put together this kit and get it all ready to go. You'll get a PDF of all the instructions, all the parts. I'm not allowed to stamp for you, but I am allowed to die cut for you. So I can die cut all the pieces, and you will need to stamp them yourself. Okay, so this is one of those cards that looks like it is a wow card, but it's really not that hard to do. Okay, so here's the deal. This is a piece of vellum cardstock. It's cut 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. So believe it or not, this is going to be our card base, okay? So let me take that sticky off. I've got stickies all over the place here. Let me clean up a second. Get things out of the way. All right, so you need 4 pieces of Very Vanilla. I'm using all Very Vanilla tonight. I like it for fall especially. And all 3 of them, you need 4 of them. I'm sorry, you need 4 Very Vanilla panels that are cut 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. You need 4 of them, and you'll understand why in just a minute. You need a piece of a soft succulent cardstock that you're going to use with that same oval punch that we used before. So it needs to be about 2 3/4 to 3 inches wide and about 4 inches long. Mine's a little bit bigger than it needs to be on purpose, okay? And then just a small Very Vanilla for a sentiment, okay? Small Very Vanilla for a sentiment. So we're going to put those aside for just a second, and I'm going to focus on these panels right here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I could show you my card, but I want you to be wowed, so we're not going to show it to you yet, okay? I'm going to take this panel, and I'm going to go to my Cajun Craze, and I'm going to stamp it all in one color. We're not going to do the sponge daubing thing again because I want you to see how beautiful this is, the distinctive look of this stamp. That is a Stampin' Up! Patented process to make stamps that look like they are shaded differently, all in one stamp. It's called distinctive stamping. And look at that. That is what it looks like even when you just stamp it all in one color. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm going to clean that off. And that is actually eventually going to go on the back of my card. Okay. Then I'm going to focus on our helicopters here. Thanks for teaching me that, Jeannie. And I'm going to get another panel. And I'm actually going to get the two inside panels here, okay? And you need to have your chamois nearby because you're going to be coloring these in different colors, and you'll need to clean it off with every new color that you want to put down. So I'm using soft suede. That's what I'm going to start with. And I'm going to take the helicopters and I'm going to make them look like they are floating down from the sky. So I'm doing 2 in soft suede. Look at the distinctive nature of that. It really is beautiful. Okay. Then I'm going to take my Cajun Craze. I'm going to add another one coming down like that. Okay. I'm going to clean that off. I'm going to take a crushed curry. And I'm going to have it coming here and here. And then my soft succulent is my last 2 that I'm going to have floating down. Wouldn't it be pretty if the helicopters really were these colors? Kind of have to use your imagination on this one, but we're going to have it float down like that, okay? That is going to be my inside panel. So I'm going to put all of these aside for a second, and now I'm going to focus on my front panel. And this is so fun. I'm going to take each of these colors and I'm going to stamp them, the leaves, and all the different colors coming down and around the card. So I'm going to start with my soft suede, and I'm going to have it coming right up here like that. Oh, so pretty. I love it. Good night, my friend. Feel better. Okay. And then we're going to get the Cajun Craze. And I'm going to add that coming in from the side here. Like that. Isn't that pretty? I know. I loved this card that Rhonda made, and I knew I was gonna, I did not take a picture of it. I'm just kind of casing it from my memory. But when I knew I was gonna do this class tonight, I knew I needed to do this one because I just fell in love with it. Okay, so there's my Cajun Craze, all right? And then I'm gonna add a soft succulent. Okay, and then my soft succulent one is just going to kind of come up from the bottom here in that corner. So pretty. Isn't that pretty? That just looks like fall, doesn't it? This is one of those stamp sets that could easily be missed in the holiday catalog. It's called Soft Seedlings. All right. Now I'm going to take my scrap of Very Vanilla and I'm going to stamp Thinking of You in Cajun Craze here. The fonts are so, so pretty. So again, Yay! Yes, I knew you would be, Mary. I'm glad you purchased it too. There you go. Thinking of you. And then I'm going to take my soft succulent paper and I'm going to punch 2 ovals from that. Okay. Now, before I go too much further, what I'm going to do is take this panel and add it to the front of my vellum card base right here. And it kind of gives it like a frame, almost like it's floating, a floating frame. Now, you don't need a lot of adhesive. So I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm just going to put a little bit in each corner and a little bit in the middle. And I'm going to get over the camera here to make sure that I have this centered all the way around, nice and straight. And I'm going to lay that down right like that. Okay. This piece, this Thinking of You, I'm literally just going to cut around it, cut it out, kind of going in all those nooks and crannies. You can see I'm not like stressing out about it too much. I'm just cutting around. And if you wanted, you could put a little pencil mark kind of around all the letters, like bubble letters, like we did back in the 70s. But I found that I do just as good of a job if I just kind of don't think about it too hard, right? Okay, hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, let me get that bulk cut off there, okay. Now, if you didn't like fussy cutting like this, I kind of think it's fun. You could just punch it out of the oval punch or use a different label to cut out your sentiment. There we go. So there's my Thinking of You all cut out. Put that away. And what I'm going to do is glue this on top of this oval right here. So this time I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glue on the back. I'm going to focus on the middle parts. So a little dot on all those points there. Okay. And I am going to just adhere that right to that. It just gives some color to the back of it, okay? I'm going to add some dimensionals. This is soft succulent, and I'm going to add that right to the center of that scalloped oval right there. Gives a little dimension, gives a little detail, and then that is going to go right here. But before I add that to there, I've got this gold twine, and I'm just going to tie it in a bow with like some medium-sized loops here. And I want my loops to be big enough that they will show from behind that oval punch, okay? So here we go. Make my loops kind of big. I'm gonna cut off my ends. And then this is gonna go behind my label just like that, okay? So there's a loop and a string above and below. So right here in the middle, I'm gonna add glue dot to the back of that. Maybe, yep. And I just want to stick it on there so that those loops are showing on either side. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals to the ends here and put that on my card front. Right? Like that. So pretty, right? Then, how about some champagne rhinestones? And let's just scatter those anywhere we want along the front of our card here. It's a magical fall. It's 3. I like to use 5. What about you guys? 3 or 5? We're going to use 5. Maybe 1 right there. Okay. Now, when you open this up, you're going to see, isn't that pretty? You can't even see that Seal Plus, okay? But I was nervous about that. So what I decided to do, and the reason I made these, is that I'm going to put these over the top of that, okay? Now, I'll tell you, the first time I made this card, I used liquid glue, and it just does not work on the vellum. It wants to bubble a little bit, and it's just not as pretty. So I highly recommend that you use Seal Plus to put your panels. And I'm just going to put that right over it, right like that. So from the outside, you can't even see that there's a panel on the inside, okay? Now, I'm going to do the same thing to this panel over here, but I don't want it to show through my card. So what I'm going to do is flip it upside down, right like that, okay? Right on top of my other panel, corner to corner. I'm going to add some seal to the corners again. I'm going to make sure everything is lined up really nicely. Let me get that corner a little bit better. There we go. And now I'm just going to press this down onto that. And now it all lines up perfectly. See? So pretty. And then this one, of course. Thanks, Jenny. And Jenny's a liquid glue expert. And she says the same thing. Liquid glue just doesn't work with vellum. It wants to bow it. I don't know another word to use. But it doesn't lay flat, and it just looks weird. So use Seal Plus, a flat adhesive. Okay, now I'm just going to line this up with that one. Do we care that it's going upside down? Yes, we do. We're going to pull that off. I think the hard part is that I'm going upside down tonight, so we got to figure out, Jenny and I are going to have to figure out why we can't flip it upside down anymore, because stamping upside down is not easy. Okay, there we go. Here we go. So you can write inside. Wouldn't it be pretty to write a little bit right here, a little bit right there, and then a little bit on the back too. So there is our vellum card. That's our card number 3. Let me put all of our cards out here so that you can see them all. I think they're all gorgeous. I love them. So I hope I gave you a good idea of some beautiful cards that you can make using the soft Seedlings stamp set. I think it's less than $20. I believe it's 19, and the number is 159905. And their only sentiment that we didn't use was this little hello right there, which is super pretty as well. So I'm going to lift the camera up and say my goodbyes. Thank you, Veronica. I love them too. I especially love this set. And I should have known. I'm sorry. I know this is annoying for everybody. It's a special. There we go. They're all just so beautiful. If you would like to get this card class, to go, you can, okay. place an order. Sorry, a message came through and it was bothering me. You can place a $30 order in my online store. I have the hostess code up in the description, and you will get everything to make all three of these beautiful cards plus a PDF of all the instructions. And just keep in mind, you need the stamp set. So you can do you can't make these beautiful cards without that stamp set. So that might be what you want to add. Maybe you need some ink colors. Maybe you need the embellishments. I'll give you enough to do your cards, but maybe you want more. Maybe some of the ribbons and things. Those are all great things to add. Although I give you enough to do these cards, if you want to make more, you might want to invest in some of those other things. So God bless everybody. I'm praying that you all have a great week, and thank you for supporting me. Thank you for coming here on your Monday night to watch me do my stamping. And again, if you can help me get to Norway in any way, I would be forever grateful. I'm already forever grateful because you guys are just the best. So God bless. We'll see you next Monday night at 7 o'clock. I'll be right here. Bye-bye.